Narcissistic people don't enjoy being caught out on the things that they have or haven't done that they said they would do. They feel entitled to do as they please, and they feel entitled to go right ahead and exploit you, and they lack the empathy to care for how their behaviour affects you. Now, it's often not that they are bothered that they have been called out. They feel smug that they got away with that behaviour, or that behaviour has irritated you. They get offended of other people's perceptions of their behaviour. And there's lots of different mind games a narcissistic individual will play in order to gaslight your reality so that they can get away with the things that they have done to you, and especially find a way to blame you. And one covert method a narcissist will reach for when they're being called out on something is to play dumb in the situation. Call them out when they promised to fetch something and they forgot. They'll play dumb that you forgot to remind them. Call them out on something that they didn't bother to do, and they will feign incompetence. They will play dumb in order to not have to pick up after themselves. When it comes to a narcissistic person, there's several ways they will play dumb, and one of the first of these is by feigning that ignorance. By simply pretending to not know something, pretending to not understand something, claim that they never heard you say that, gaslighting your reality. And then when you find yourself saying, I did say that, I said it last week, you believe you're the one that's then trying to gaslight them and start questioning yourself. When it comes to a narcissist feigning ignorance, they are simply looking to manipulate the situation to their advantage. They're looking to avoid taking responsibility for things. They will stand there as calm as anything and say, I have no idea what you're talking about. They're looking to hook you, wheel you in, wind you up to the maximum, gain a reaction from you, and then they can walk off and say, see, this is why I can never have a straightforward conversation with you, even though they created it all. And you can stand there in a state of absolute disbelief, believing you're the one that's going crazy. They will deny all knowledge, even with facts and evidence of showing them something they definitely did do. They will still deny all knowledge. They will claim that you've misread the information, that you're the one that's planted that information there, that it was absolutely nothing to do with them. They will flat out deny all knowledge. They will claim that they didn't do something, they didn't know something, and they're looking to avoid consequences for their actions by shifting the blame onto you if at all possible. And they will stand there again all sweet and innocent and, oh, I knew it'd be my fault. You always have to blame me, don't you? Oh, I'm sorry, I forgot you were perfect. They might simply act confused, and as you can often be very confused around a narcissistic person, when they act confused in front of you, you can often relate to them and think, oh, perhaps they don't get it. They will pretend to not understand some of the simplest of instructions to create conflict, to create chaos, to maintain control of the situation. And then when you get all frustrated, they're all calm and, oh, I can't understand why you're so upset about this. Oh, you know what I'm like. They will play innocent. They will act completely naive to a situation. Now, we can all be naive, so we can relate when a narcissistic individual is being naive. And then when we're being naive, we try to cotton on to what's happening. And then when we do realise what's happening, we can't believe we were so stupid for not knowing something that we didn't actually know at the time. So when a narcissist pretends not to know something, you can empathise with them. When they're confronted, they will claim that, well, they didn't know. So you can tell them something in the strictest of confidence, personal information, and they will go and gossip about you quite happily. And when you find out that they've been gossiping about you and you go and approach them for that open and honest communication to assert your boundaries with them and say, hey, that I told you it wasn't really for anyone else. I told you because I trusted you. Well, you didn't tell me that it was a big secret. You didn't tell me that I wasn't allowed to tell anyone. They're looking to pass the blame on to you. Or they will play innocent in a method of, well, I didn't know you didn't want anyone else to know, did I? Or, I can't believe you'd think I'd tell them that. That information never came from me. That must have come from somebody else. They will pretend to be incapable of doing something. They will feign incompetence. And one of the worst of these is they will usually isolate you from your friends and your families and your hobbies. And then they will encourage you to go out with your friends and family and go and do those hobbies. And then they will make an absolute disaster in the home. So when you return, it's hard work. And if you say something to them, they'll play the victim of, well, at least I looked after the dog, at least I looked after the children. Well, you do it far better than me. Well, I don't know how you run the house. You make it look easy. Oh, I had a bad headache. I've got a bad back. You know what it's like. So they will be purposefully incompetent at something. Now, when we start anything new, such as decorating a room, the first time we do it, we more than often will suck. We might forget to masking tape up or tape things down because we haven't done it before. We are yet to learn. And this is when we need those who have done it, who have experience, just to come along and say, hey, just a bit of advice. If you do this, then this. And it's that constructive feedback. Thank you. I'll try that. Yes, it does work. They teach you and you can then teach somebody else. Narcissistic people are unteachable because they believe they already know everything. So if you give them that constructive feedback, they're going to get offended. See, this is why I don't do anything for you. Nothing's ever good enough for you, is it? Oh, I knew I'd do it wrong. This is why I don't bother. So you can't even give them any form of constructive feedback because they take offence. So you either have to put up with their disastrous job or put up with them not doing anything at all. It's a lose-lose for you and a win-win for them. Because they're looking to find a way to get out of doing something for you or for somebody else. They're looking to avoid responsibility. They're looking to avoid being responsibility. They're looking to deflect the blame, deflect the criticism, and gain sympathy. And they will use a selective memory. They will conveniently forget things, and they can conveniently forget things just to cause that argument. So they can literally drink your last drop of milk, even if they don't yet live with you. And you can go down for breakfast and I haven't got any milk for my coffee. Oh, don't worry, I'll get some on my way back from work. Great, thanks, brilliant. Doesn't really help you in the moment, but at least they're looking to make amends. And then when they come back and they have no milk and you're like, hey, I thought you said you were picking up some milk. No, they can attack you, just say you're not capable of getting it for yourself and play dumb. I never said I was going to fetch you that. And feign ignorance of, no, that's nothing to do with me. Or they can turn around and twist it onto you and say, well, you forgot to remind me. If you remind them, they tell you to stop treating them like a child. If you don't remind them, they tell you to stop reminding them. Yet with their selective memory, they will conveniently forget something to cause that hassle, to cause that atmosphere, and then use all the other twisted mind games to get away with it. They remember things that never actually happened and forget the things that did. They use the selective memory to their advantage. Now, when you have been living with a narcissistic individual, it can negatively impact your mind and your memory can no longer be as good. So you can become forgetful, which again helps you to relate to them. Well, you've become forgetful. They can be forgetful. Everybody's forgetful. Oh, bygones be bygones. Never mind, it doesn't matter. And with a narcissist, it's a repeat pattern of behaviour. And when you're around a narcissist, your memory can become more forgetful and it becomes a repeat pattern of behaviour. However, you take responsibility and you're remorseful. Narcissistic people shift the blame and lack the empathy to care. They will turn around and tell you that you're making stuff up, that you know they said. They will flat out deny ever saying it. When it comes to narcissistic individuals, they are just looking to get their needs met by you. Any covert ways you noticed of a narcissistic individual playing dumb, please add those into the comments for people reading through. Thank you very much to all the returning subscribers and your continued support with the channel. It's greatly appreciated. If you are new to the channel, I'm Elizabeth Shaw. This channel is all about narcissistic behaviour to give you more understanding of the people you might be dealing with within your life, how to handle yourself around those people if you cannot go in contact, and different methods to find what works for you to help you understand and overcome narcissistic and emotional abuse. If you do find the information helpful on the channel, please do subscribe. If you are looking for further help and support in understanding and overcoming narcissistic and emotional abuse, I do have several online guides available, and those teachable links are in the video description. If you're looking for someone to speak to, I have partnered with BetterHelp, and their sponsored link is also in the video description. I do also have a couple of books out on Amazon, 15 Rules to Deal with Narcissistic People If You Cannot Get in Contact, and a Narcissists Handbook, which is the ultimate guide to understanding and overcoming narcissistic and emotional abuse. Go out there and create the day that you deserve, because you do deserve to have an amazing day. Bye.